Welcome back to the Fixing Football podcast with me, Martyn and Liam. Yes, I'm back. Thank you everyone for asking. Not that many people noticed.
Can I just say that I said to Scott, he should have referenced that you weren't here.
No, you didn't.
We discussed it later. I said you're going to be fuming. I knew you'd be fuming about that. And I was like, you do not? And he went, yeah. I did realise after about 5 minutes and the moment had gone. Now I disagree. I would have done it, but you chose a different host this time, so it's kind of your fault.
It is on me. It is my fault that my brother forgot about me, and two best friends for a long time also forgot to mention anything.
I didn't forget. I just didn't want to ruin Scott's flow. I just thought he was building up to it.
Anyway, we're back. We're back as a team, Fixing Football, the OGs. And we need to reiterate what this podcast stands for, Lee.
Okay.
First of all, how are you? Let's get this bit out of the way. How are you?
I'm very well. Can't complain, Martyn. Can't complain. Are you feeling better?
I am, thanks. I've had horrible flu, but it's stuck in my house and we can't get it out, so baby's got it now.
You've been on my mind these last 2 weeks, Martyn.
As you know, Liam speaks mainly in sarcasm and lies, so we'll move swiftly past that bit. Other than that, life's okay. Footballing-wise, Arsenal are back. We've had a good weekend after a bad month almost. Sort of hit and miss. Been good in cups and poor in the league, but
I think poor's pushing it. I don't think you've been poor.
2 0-0 draws and a loss to Man United is about as poor as it's going to get for my life at the moment. That, like, again though, weren't all doom and gloom. Finished top of the Champions League. 8 wins out of 8. Can't ask for more than that, really. The League Cup semi-final will be this week. So obviously, we record before that, so fingers crossed we are on our way to Wembley, and Scott is nice and miserable. Scott, by the way, is in New York. He didn't tell us he was going. Just went.
He didn't. That caught me off guard, yeah.
Where are you, Scott? New York. Oh, cool. So you're not recorded tonight.
Have a nice
Moving
time.
Swiftly on.
Found this on the web.
Let's talk, Liam, about what this podcast stands for. We want to fix football through the medium of podcasting and conversation and community. Now, we could do that when we need help from the listeners.
We do.
I think we want to create a community with kindred spirits, then people who have the conversation each week in the pub, on WhatsApp, in the DMs, wherever you're doing it. Everyone's talking about their own club or what they would fix, what they want to do, what's wrong with the game. And this is where that's our niche, that's where we live right now. So I thought it'd be fun to go over a few things that we actually ate. We could list them. We could just pick a few things off the top of our head. What are them things right now, the pillars of this podcast that we will die on the hill of getting rid of or fixing or making better? When I say that to you, what's the first thing that stands out?
You've caught me off guard today because obviously I'm wearing... No, you have, because this might be the first time people listen to this podcast or watch it, and
Exactly.
They're going to think I'm a hypocrite, man, because I'm now wearing a shirt of an American soccer team. And the one thing I would say I stand for the most is the Americanization of the UK game and the increased American ownership.
Right, so when you say that, the Americanization, what does that mean to you? A brief summary of that, what does that mean to you? Just American ownership or American cultural influence?
Both. It's not, right, I want to be very clear. It's not specifically US ownership. However, I can very concerned about the amount of US ownership. I don't think we should have too many of anything, because that creates cultural shifts in the game. And increasingly, both from the top 6, who are predominantly American owned, fully, if not partly, then fully in the case of most of them.
Yeah.
That it influences our game far more to be more commercially driven, which is great in some ways for the Premier League, but also not so good in terms of how it interrupts the fan experience of it. And increasingly we're getting things such as games on Monday nights and games on Friday nights and 8 o'clock games, as it turned out, this weekend. So that direction of travel is something I very much oppose.
Is the 8 o'clock thing... The Monday night, the Friday nights, is that really the Americanization? I know, or is it more of Sky have to deliver a quota of games, and it has to be they have to split it up so many. There's only so many hours in the day when you can put games on.
I would say it is because it's the maximisation of revenue. I mean, obviously, you've got the deal that Sky will do whatever Sky needs to do to survive. That it's not necessarily Sky's fault. That's almost separate. They will Sky almost solely depend on Premier League football. That's the whole business model, and it always has been. So they'll do what they need to do, and that's understandable, right? But the maximisation of that commercial deal is very in line with US sports. And that was a big way of keeping the revenues the same with this particular deal, was things like halftime manager press conferences, that type of stuff that people are kind of not liking. It's increasingly where the game is going in terms of selling itself more and more to broadcasters.
I mean, I'm not against the sentiment, but there's a few specifics that I'll always get on board with. Not get on board with, but let slide, if you will. The halftime interviews, I'm not a fan of. But they're not a deal breaker for me. They're something I'm willing to go to battle for. Not to get too political, but the FIFA fawning over Donald Trump and the upcoming World Cup is really grating on me a little bit. So that one I'll be on your team for.
The World Cup's another. I mean, that's a completely different thing. I mean, on that, if you didn't see them, Leon Goretzka's comments were quite strong about that, weren't they? Did you see them?
There's a few people in Germany. I haven't seen Goretzka specifically, but I think Muller has come out and said something, Thomas Muller. And I think Germany are quite big on potentially wanting to boycott. There is a movement to boycott the World Cup from Germany. And I don't think they'll be on their own as well if that was to kick off. Again, I don't want to go crazy political, but there's a little bit of left versus right when it comes to these sort of sentiments sometimes.
Well, I think Greenland is what's touchy for a lot of those Central European countries, because with that you've got Germany, that is a border nation of Denmark with very close ties to Denmark.
Yeah,
so it's very touchy that incident.
I was going to say, and that is end of political chat.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about German borders and how they may or may not move. That's not, we're not going down that road.
I'll give you one then. So what I think referees is a big issue in our game. What I like, what is a major part of this conversation is where to point the blame. I've never been a big fan of VAR, and I don't think I ever will be. I liked, for all his faults, Sepp Blatter was big on keeping the game the same from the grassroots Sunday League game to the Premier League. It is, by definition, the exact same game, unlike cricket and tennis and some of these other sports. But then I understand the need to bring it up to the modern day like the rest of them have done. But VAR has never been good or efficient and well done since we've started. And the whole point of it is to increase consistency. And it is, if anything, brought the consistency down. I'm sure Howard Webb can show me some stats that disagrees with that.
I think I disagree with that. Only because I watch a lot of League One football, and the amount of honking decisions that you just have to live with at that level, it's so hard to... You forget that how many of those decisions are eradicated. But what I would say is that there is a cost. It isn't the same sport with VAR in there. Like you don't have that same emotion. You're waiting an extra moment to celebrate and all that kind of. It's not there is a big cost to it. So I'm not just pro VAR by any means.
Especially the amount of corners we score from on pins every time we get. You never know whether there's a goal being or anything, and I would find it even worse being in a stadium. It's a big factor of what keeps me away. I mean, issues are a bit of a problem, but seriously, that fan experience is something that doesn't entice me to go into the games anymore.
Well, speaking of the World Cup, we are getting corners, aren't we? And second yellow cards as well. Do you like the second yellow card one, though? I must admit, that one, I find that a very silly, blurred line.
Well, this is a question I have always had about second yellows, is a second yellow card a red card offence? It equals a red card.
You're going to have to explain that comment a bit more.
I know a second yellow card equals a red card, but a red card offence isn't a second yellow offence. A second yellow, to me, is an individual foul incident worthy of a yellow card. It may happen to be your first or second one.
Are you suggesting that a higher bar on the second yellow? That like there is
No,
a...
I'm saying there is a higher bar on the second.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't think it's intentional. I think like
No,
if you
it's
look
more
at Rodri
human nature thing.
this weekend, Rodri, he seems to get. To be honest, he consistently seems to get away with murder. Him. He's always been like that. Horrendous human being.
We can visit them
Allegedly.
comments in a little bit, but
Yeah, allegedly, in our opinion. But there probably is just like penalty. Although I think the guidance is like that on penalty. You know, like it does have to be. There has to be consequential fouling.
The same foul isn't the same foul inside and outside the box.
Yeah, and I think that's largely accepted. I think that's genuine, actually how it's...
Because sometimes I see some of these handballs and technically it is a handball, but the punishment of a penalty is too great for the minuscule offence, really. It's not, and that's just one scenario.
This, Do you know one that winds me up? You know, like a late tackle that can genuinely hurt someone is the same punishment of waving an imaginary card. I find that one really annoying. Waving a card and that's a yellow card. Like that's just like it does made in that. Like you should be allowed to appeal. Like if someone done a yellow card offence, you should be allowed to ask the referee, is that a yellow? I think, and it's a nonsense that got brought in.
I think, in fact, just coming aside from that, what I don't like is that VAR has been, and I think it's proven, I don't think there are many who disagree with this statement, is VAR is a massive crutch for referees. It is re-refereeing the game. The game is being refereed via a monitor in Stockley Park. And it has made our referees worse. It has made our game worse. And they must either prioritise fixing VAR, getting the boundaries of it working right, not doing it for corners, not doing it for minuscule things, not using it at every instance, getting it right and giving the referees some power back within the game, some control of running the game well.
Do you think they've got better at VAR? Because I do, to be honest.
I do think they've got better. Technically, yes. But then you look at the last 2 weeks, and I think we've had a couple instances, more than 2 instances of VAR decisions taking over 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the Aston Villa one this weekend as a very interesting one because I like that use of it because that was well out of play. Like, quite clearly out of play.
But the issue with that one was that it was so far back in the
I know, and that's
state of play. The Man United one took about 4.5 minutes. I think there was 9 minutes added on in that game.
I don't understand why that one took so long because I thought that's what semi-automated offside was there for.
Again, this is the thing. What are we doing here? A computer should be brought into the game to help with certain decisions. And yes, you're right. Not everything is black and white. But if it isn't black and white, then that should be made up to the referee's decision.
It just doesn't work that way, though, does it? Because
I know it
there's
doesn't,
just so much emotion attached to these decisions. Like they may make that decision, but then everyone turn and go, "Well, they've not looked at that. We're not like it. It's
well,
not
they can't say they haven't
cut.
tried. Can't say they haven't tried to use it so far. And did anyone get it right? Was anyone happy with VAR? No. So VAR is a hill that I'm willing to die on, mate. I like goal line technology. Put it in for all the lines. That it's black and white. Get the offsides better. I think that will get better over time. The rest of it, bin it off. So that's another one. Is there anything else that's while we're on a roll now?
What things we don't like?
Things we don't like. This is what we're here. We're creating pillars and foundations of this podcast. Hills we are willing to die on, and what we want a community of people to come with us.
Things we don't like.
While you're thinking, I do want to open this up. And this is where we need people in the comments and friends of the podcast to get in touch. And we want to know what little things about the game, about your club specifically, about any other club that you hate, that you either want to see eradicated, changed drastically, whatever your fix is. This is why we're here, and this is what we can do as the power of community here. Think how good we can make the game if everyone was on board fighting the good fight. This is the point of us, Liam.
Is there too much football?
No.
See what where I say what would I get rid of? I'd probably get rid of the League Cup. I'd go that far. I really struggle to see its purpose. Genuinely.
I think there's a world where it can live and not affect us. I think
Our
it can
lives.
be. I think the League Cup and the EFL Trophy can be the same thing. A competition that's maybe open to just the Championship and down.
I think there's an argument for it.
Or anyone not in Europe or something like that. I think that's sort of been our fix in the past. I get you. Too much football, don't know. I don't feel like there is.
Not
I feel
for Man
happy.
United.
Man United not got enough football.
No.
I feel happy with knowing I've got a game at the weekend, a game midweek, a game at the weekend.
All right, here's one. Here's what everyone agrees on. International breaks.
Yeah. Shrink them or make them bigger.
One bigger one.
Yeah, I think, what have we got, like 4 before Christmas at the moment in this World Cup
It's at least 3.
season.
I couldn't give you them. It's at least 3. Feels like 1,000.
Yeah, I think that could be 2. It could even be 1 and condense it all up. I like the idea of 2 or 3 maybe throughout the season. Just because I did like the idea of 1 where it's like a mini tour, mini break. But I think you made a good point about when you're selecting England squads, like you want to...
Yeah, if someone's injured, they may never get a look in.
Yeah, there may never be any changes to that England squad through years at a time. So
that's the only reason I can see against it.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
other
agree.
than that, I think more people would get behind it if it was like that as well. You know, like it'd feel like not like a mini World Cup because it wouldn't feel like that. But if you had all your qualifiers in like a 1-month period, I feel like
you had 4 games instead of 2 each, and like at them international breaks, I think people would be well more invested.
Well, if you look, I mean, what is it in the qualifiers? 8 games in the qualifiers. If you took out a 5-week period and just did all the qualifiers, would people get more behind them?
I think so. Could separate that. I'm sure there's ways you could monetize that more for, TV purposes and host it in different cities and stuff like that and do it however you wanted to do it. I'm sure there could be something around there. Can I tell you my next one?
Nope. Yes.
You forgot this is being recorded then.
I did. I was enjoying myself, man. What can I say? Things we don't like, I could do this for a long time.
Ticket prices. I'm sure we're going to speak World Cup stuff a little bit closer to the time when we get the next break. And that's not the only culprit. Getting an Arsenal ticket as a non, so like I'm a red member who doesn't earn enough points because I can't get a ticket because the like rocking or shit. You just, there is no way to get an Arsenal ticket apart from like the Kairat game last week where we had already qualified.
Is there any tickets for the Wigan game? Got Wigan, haven't you, coming up?
Yeah, but
it's not. It's not.
That's it.
Is it? Yeah, and I do get that. Like, I do honestly get that.
And potentially not. I may have to get someone with, more credit in the bank in terms of a season ticket holder to get me a ticket and do the fan exchange thing that way.
If you can put up with a smell, I reckon you'd get one in the Wigan end.
I'm not willing to do that.
Friends of the podcast, that'll be #WAFC.
What was I going to say? Ticket price in general. The scarcity of Arsenal tickets isn't my big gripe here. The pricing, I've seen a lot of Chelsea, Spurs are getting dragged through the ringer in terms of ticket pricing.
Fulham.
Man United, all of a sudden, Man United win a couple of games and people start talking about them ticket prices again. England especially, it's an incredible lot of pressure to put on people who, maybe someone like yourself, Liam, who've been to every game for the last 25 years and you're going to go for the next 25 years regardless, because that's just what you do, and you would not know what to do if the game left you because all of a sudden Bolton Wanderers were taken over by some Russian oligarch and it was now £100 a game.
I mean, the first part of that I quite like the idea of, but...
Yes, of course. But what does that come with? That comes with 10 years down the line, Liam. You're being sold to Viagogo's seating and your owner is making an extra wedge off you reselling the tickets.
Yeah.
Like, this is the world, and I'm all for capitalism and people making their money and making the most out of what they do, but not at the expense of fans. And not enough is done to help fans come and see the games, in my opinion. I know some clubs do the coach schemes here and there, and saw Man City bloody begging their fans to.
I was going to say, I think
let them off the hook.
With this, I've always thought, and I do get it, right? But there is very much 2 different worlds here that we're talking. Like, the scarcity in that type of stuff is very much a Premier League / Big Six, apart from Man City problem, right?
Yeah, that's not the
I
issue.
would never be so low to take a mick at a City not being able to fill the ground. I'm not going to steep that low, right? But and I do get it though. Like, and I do get it because it is a big part of my life going to the match. Like, it's my sole hobby, I would say. And when Bolton weren't playing matches, I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah. This isn't you on your own here. This is, tens of thousands of people at every club every week. Let's say from Bolton Wanderers in the EFL world, from Bolton Wanderers up, that's every club almost, in terms of the size of club and where they are. That's tens of thousands of people every week who love going and have always gone and have always done that thing. And slowly but surely, the scarcity of tickets increases ticket prices out other fans, it attracts a certain other type of fan who people don't like. The tourism, I'm trying to think of a different word other than tourist,
No,
but
it's
that's
tourism.
the only one I can say.
Football tourism is a top end of the game. I mean, that's what Man City's about now. If the expansion and stuff, it's purely for that Manchester tourism element.
But if you look at Birmingham, who've created a story around themselves, some have created a story around themselves. Wrexham tickets are really hard to get. You can't just rock up to Wrexham anymore. Crystal Palace and Fulham will become the same. They're going to head down the same route. Everton are going to be very similar to that very soon, I'm sure, because there's just going to be an influx of interest, because there's going to be an influx of money and success in the game. I'm not necessarily on the pitch, but
it's one of the best exports of this country now. The Premier
Of
Premier
course
League
it is.
specifically, people want to be part of it. They want to be involved in it, don't they?
So surely eking out a few extra quid from fans isn't where the money is to be made. It's easy low-hanging fruit to put an extra £1 on 25,000 tickets, and you just go, well, that sorts us out for another week.
Well, I think the issue you've got here is it comes back to something I said right at the start. If you have a look at things like NFL ticket prices, where there's
That
a
is
big
a different
scarcity. When you look at the scarcity demand, that is very much.
I tried getting a few tickets recently. I mean, Oasis was a generational thing, but then Bruno Mars was going on tour. I'm a big fan, and I went to look at his ticket pricing. Astronomical. We're talking 500 quid. He's doing a couple nights at Wembley. He's put on an extra 5 nights from the original 2. It's 500 quid a ticket. 300 for standing. He's the greatest performer in the world, in my opinion. Regardless of that, I ain't paying it. Like this, my sister was looking at Harry Styles tickets. I think it's much cheaper to go and watch him in Amsterdam. But the same thing is that, and we're not talking a generational thing like the Oasis one. I think the Oasis one, a lot of people swallowed the pill and was like, I'll just pay whatever. This is a once in a lifetime thing, or it's a once in a 30-year thing, whatever it worked out as.
Oh, next year.
Yeah. And then, like, I've seen another one. It was Akon and Neo.
I did see they were touring. Yes, it popped up as an advert for me today.
It's 85 quid a ticket.
Of course it is.
What are they doing? They're not even released an album for 10 years. Anyway, gosh, that's going on.
Let me out.
Yes, mate, that's where he's been for 10 years, and now he's fleecing the people who actually remember him. Like
OGs like us, the Akon OGs.
They're going to be catching some strays, these R&B legends, but
that Convicted album with a K, isn't it? That was his.
Yeah, there's some bangers on that as well. Like, I would love that. I saw Fat Man Scoop and Sean Paul once in one night. That was anyway. They're part of the problem. No. So
sorry, Akon.
Anyway, pricing out of fans, and clubs can do far more in the advertising world than they can do by increasing the ticket prices a little bit, and got all the other stuff that goes along with being a football fan these days. The fans shouldn't be the ones who are paying when we're already paying the Sky bill on top of it all as well. What was the other one you was going to say, Matt?
I've been thrown by Akon catching strays.
Akon.
I think the one if I was going to change one thing above thing, it's the promotion relegation between the National League and the Football League.
Definitely needs looking at. I think there's a world where that is refined and maybe even made more exciting.
Well, yeah, Project Big Picture, wasn't it? That the Premier League wanted to do with the Football League, and it'd be something similar with the Football League. So I suppose we'll see, but I don't see it happening anytime soon.
So this is where we're at. these are some of the hills that we're willing to die on. There's loads more. I want to get stuck into football media and idiots like us chiming in with everything. Just the whole circus around football media is punditry and everyone's opinion. I like the style of content that we're creating. That's the sort of stuff that I will listen to. What I don't need is the class of '92 ramming the opinion and the fact down our throats every week, or the same old faces that we've seen for the last 25 years in a jobs for the boys world, them taking and creating the narrative when we've just seen them be wrong and clickbait, just creating their own form of clickbait. They should leave that to the people who are meant to be creating clickbait. So that is a whole world that we want to get into. I want to get into the world of junior football and elite academies and stuff like that I think is a big talking point in the game. We're hoping to have some guests on about that soon as well, so that'll be interesting. Anything else that people want to talk about, we'd love people to be on the podcast, whether that be via the comments, via an email to ourselves, in the DMs, or being a guest on the show. We would like all of that, and we want more people to join us, be part of the community, get in touch, and what we'll do is we'll see you after a short break. And we are back once again. Liam, I have some news not of the footballing kind.
Oh, go ahead.
My debut song is coming out at the end of this month, at the end of February.
Oh,
the link.
Do we have a name?
Dance With Me by MLN. You can find all the information on my Instagram, which is at MLN the DJ down here. And you can pre-save. I'll put the link in the description if anyone's interested. I would much appreciate a lot of support on it. I really like it. I'm very happy with it. I've had songs in the bank for a lot of many years, and January has given me the time to actually work on some. This one I'm very happy with, and I'm looking forward to people hearing it. So February the 27th, it is out. You can pre-save it now.
Does it have words in it?
Yeah, it does. I've had 3 different people from within the industry. Now, you might laugh at this, but I think it's happy. But 3 different people, because I work in radio day to day, have told me that it sounds like a Love Island track.
Okay.
Which I think is a compliment. I think is because there's a lot of songs and hits that are played on there, especially it's charty dance house music.
I feel like I did watch early Love Islands when
I
Ashley
watched
had
it
them
for
on.
years. I assume it's the same style.
I was going to say when everyone had watched them. I imagine like Jax Jones would be the music person I would associate
Jax
with Love
Jones,
Island.
Joel Corey, like the pop dance house music. Yeah, I'm very happy. It's something that I would definitely play out in the clubs. It's not like an underground, like no words, 12-minute house drop. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm really happy with it. Daughter likes it. She's singing along. And
She's going to be a bit biased, but I'm sure it's good.
She thinks it's mummy singing.
Ah, okay.
But it isn't. It's actually me singing with a lot of AI involved. But
is that true?
Yeah.
Singing community won't like that, man. Don't be telling the singing community that.
They don't. But you know what? I asked a few singers to be on it, and I know some very talented singers. But to tie one of them down for a recording session is nigh on impossible. And we're not here forever, mate. So this may not be its final iteration, but it is its debut iteration, and so the final version might include an actual real life female singing it, but at the moment it's just me.
Oh, so it's a female AI, Martyn.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a voice note in my phone and an actual recording that I did in a studio of me that will never see the light of day. But yeah, so the pre-save link will be down below, and I much appreciate a lot of support. That'd be nice. That being said, Liam, it is we've just seen the closing of the January transfer window. Now we're in the heat of it now.
Slam shut.
it'll be shutting in the next hour or so, I think.
That's the Scottish one, isn't it? The Scottish one's still open for, when we're recording now, it's still open for another hour, the Scottish window.
Yeah. But it's been a relatively quiet window, and I think that's due to, well, let's look at the big spenders, if you will, in this window, and that's been Man City. With the arrival of Semenyo and Mark Gay, Premier League experience, very high quality footballers. And they are clearly classing themselves in the chasing pack. Aston Villa have been busy in the market as well. They've gone with Douglas Luiz. I saw a tweet saying that they were trying to build Dean Smith's Aston Villa again with the arrival of Douglas Luiz and Tammy Abraham.
Mad, yeah. Mad signings. But kind of makes sense, Douglas Luiz, because they wanted someone for now that understands the system, can go straight in, yeah.
Arsenal haven't dipped into the window as of right now. I don't know if anything might have happened with the news of Mikel Merino's injury this week that might see him out for the rest of the season. We'll see.
Is it that serious, that injury?
They're looking like they don't know whether he needs surgery yet, and I think that'll be the deciding factor. Obviously, with the World Cup on the horizon, he's been quite important for Spain. I don't know if they're trying to avoid that, so we'll see. We did let Ethan Nwaneri go out on loan. It's probably better for him to get them guaranteed minutes at Marseille. Other than that,
I think with Nwaneri, there was the idea that he's missing out on the title charge, but he's not going to play, so it's not going to be his title. Like Phil Foden's got about 3 of them titles. We played about 8 minutes throughout the loan. He still counts them. You don't want them on. His time will come.
Even so, like, if we need a deeper midfielder, there's Lewis Skelly's been available. Has quite played deep sometimes. So there's, and the problem is with Mikel Merino of all players, you don't know what position to replace him with. Do you go out and buy a number 9? Do you go out and buy a number 6? Like, who knows?
He's definitely an Arsenal number 9, isn't
he? What is he? You know what? He's magnificent and he's fantastic. Are you surprised at the lack of business in this window? Or is it a bit more telling of the league itself, Premier League wise? We could go on to Bolton Wanderers signings in a minute, because I think there's been quite a few.
It's a bit busier, yeah.
A lot busier. A lot of movement actually in the Championship and League One. But Premier League has been relatively quiet. The biggest move might be apart from the Man City ones that we mentioned, Strand Larsen from Wolves.
Yeah, and that was instigated because of something else, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest reason for it is, at the sharp end, the Premier League particularly, there's just no value in January.
Yeah.
The contract situations are usually, it's very rare that it's down to 18 months now. Most clubs are on that. You will get the odd player that starts to become a factor.
I will say as well, I don't know if you think this might be a factor, but maybe Arsenal's gap at the top is, maybe teams looking at it think we'll wait till summer, and the gap, we can't guarantee that. It's not like it's 2 points or it's 1 point or it's neck and neck. It seems to, it gets big. We drop points the other week, and then
just that. But I think each club has their own version of that. So,
yeah,
like, look at Man United, for example. Man United know they need 1, 2, or even 3 centre midfielders.
Yeah, but they're okay.
But they don't need them now because they've got about 4 games left this season. So they're just going for the Champions League, and arguably their injury problems have gone now. So it's almost like, do you just wait for that Champions League money? Do you bank the additional squad cost control money that you would get? You know, you've got a lot of wages that drop off at the end of this year. Casemiro, potentially Rashford if he gets his move. Jadon Sancho drops off this. So in the summer, they're in a very different financial. So there's a few different factors like that playing into it, I think. But I think ultimately it comes down to there being very little value in January at the top end of the market. That's not true everywhere else, but it is for the Premier League, I think.
With it being a World Cup year as well, you'd think there might be more players pushing more, but it doesn't seem to have been a factor in the same way that we might have seen in previous years.
There's a few changing scenarios. Again, looking at United, like, I think Manu may have kicked up a bit more of a stink if Amorim was still in charge.
Yeah.
I think Nwaneri has pushed for that loan as well.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's been right, and I think we were maybe looking for the right place for him to be. I think abroad is good for him. I'm not the biggest proponent of Marseille. It seems to be a bit of a dumpster fire sometimes, and then other times it seems like the nicest place in the world. But yeah, I think De Zerbi was a driving factor on that one.
Yeah, good football. quite a few players that have been playing in England there as well. So
I'm just surprised. I didn't know if I maybe expected more from maybe Nottingham Forest, West Ham to maybe try more. There's them teams further down. We've not seen a lot of movement at Sunderland,
I think he's got
Leeds.
I think again, Sunderland. I mean, they've done a bit of business today, haven't they? I think they've signed another winger today.
Right, okay.
I couldn't name him, to be completely honest, off the top of my head. I've come straight from work. There's been a few ones that I would pretend that I'd known, Google them and pretend that I know them, but in this instance, I've not had a chance to do it. I can see they've signed someone today. I think Sunderland, again, are they going to get in Europe? Probably not. Do you wait for the summer and go again with some big signings? West Ham have been busy because they've had to be. So West Ham are ones that have invested quite a bit of money for the new two new forwards.
I'm just trying to think now. Mine's gone blank in my head. They haven't been as busy as maybe what I thought they could be.
West Ham?
Yeah, who've they bought?
Oh, two new strikers. Can't remember again. Can't fix the football podcast. Can't remember what the names are. But they have got two new strikers.
Let's fix that. West Ham signings.
West
While
Ham.
we're doing that, Liam.
Yes, mate.
Talk to me about Bolton Wanderers signings. You got your man from Celtic has come in.
Yeah, Johnny Kenny. It's quite interesting how that's worked out because that was Bolton's probably number one transfer target all summer.
Yeah.
And it didn't come off because of the issues at Celtic regarding needing a striker. Kenny ended up getting quite a bit of a run in the first team under Brendan Rodgers, which is 2 Celtic managers ago now. 3 if you count Martin O'Neill twice. So then Celtic have made some investment in January and Kenny had started to slip. His form wasn't as potentially as good. But Bolton were linked with Ryan Hardy for pretty much the whole window up until about 3 p.m. on deadline day today when we're recording. So where it emerged that Kenny was the person that we're really pushing for and Hardy was on his way to Huddersfield, I think he signed for today. So Bolton have gone big a little bit. You got Ruben Rodriguez as well.
Yeah, he been in Brazil.
He was at Oxford, but he'd gone back to Brazil, yeah.
Yeah.
But
are you happy?
Back to England. Yeah, I would have liked us to got a left centre-back. I felt like that was a priority that we didn't necessarily seem to have as much as I wanted us to get one. I think we need cover at left back and left centre-back and find you someone who can do both, as they like to say. So I would have liked a left-sided defender, a la the type that you lot tend to sign.
We've got plenty.
Can play fullback. Yeah, fullback / centre-back type defenders. I would have liked us to have got one of those because it allows you to go between that 3 and 4 defensively.
Yeah.
And I quite like the underlapping centre-backs of the 3 at the back. I think that's a really good way to go, particularly if you're a dominant team, which we tend to be at home. Like, we tend to have all the ball, and it gives you an extra body in midfield that's a little bit unpredictable, a little harder to pick up. So, and we're using George Johnston to do that, and I don't think he's quite got the relevant skill set. So, no, but ultimately, am I happy? Yeah, I think we've shown a bit of ambition.
But
Too many loans, but
I've managed to watch over the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I've caught a few Bolton Wanderers games, and actually one of the informed teams in the country right now. I think they're the only one of the few teams stringing a few wins together back to back.
We are so streaky. Have been all year, really. It's weird because every time we go on these bad runs, and at the point of giving up, we seem to then go on a mad run of doing it and 3 or 4 wins in a row. But all of a sudden now we've got some big games coming up. Barnsley at home this weekend, and then the big one away at Lincoln, which will be 2nd versus 3rd if we win the resulting game. So all of a sudden it can be look very, very different for us than maybe it did a few weeks back when we were struggling to stay in the playoffs. All of a sudden now we could be looking at top 2 again. And
while we're on that, then there has been. I mentioned it a minute ago, but Championship has seen a lot of movement. I feel like there's been mass, movement all round in that league, and the same for League One. It seems I don't know how much money as such is flying around, the level of deals that are being done, but even teams like Stockport have gone back in for, what's the lad's name who was good there? Barry?
Quite a few that they've got, but Louis Barry's the
Barry's
highlight.
a big one. Yeah. Because he'd done 6 months there and they were sort of pinning the ropes on him, and then Villa recalled him and he's gone back, which I think is great for them. Obviously he seemed quite at home there. He was happy in that. But and Cardiff as well have been active. So, I mean, is that just a sign of the need to get out of that league? Because it very much does seem like it's hard to be at. League One isn't a level that you're at. It's more like you're either fighting relegation or you're fighting promotion. There's very little teams that hang around in that league. Unfortunately, like yourselves, it is one of the more uncommon threads. Like Bolton have been in that league for
Yeah,
how many years? 6, 7 years now.
well, we've been out of the Championship for 6 years now.
It's a long time in League One.
Yeah,
Usually see
too
teams
long
go
mine.
back up
Too long mine.
or keep following. It is. And is it just a sign that the sort of activity that we're seeing, a lot more so than maybe in the Premier League?
I think there's been a bit of a theme more these recent years of at least one team sort of having the budget to really
Spending your way out of the league.
Yeah, and I don't want to. There's obviously more to it than that. I don't want to just completely belittle like Derby or Birmingham's achievements or Wrexham's achievement. I don't want to completely belittle them, but let's be honest. You can do that at League One level. Like, it's a little bit harder at Championship because you've got a few more at the top there. But at League One level, can you buy your way out of division? It's probably the highest division you can still buy your way out of. So the problem when that happens is it reduces the chance of others, even the bigger clubs that I would say that are in that division, like ourselves. It makes it difficult unless we can match that budget, which we can't. I'm not making excuses because I do think we should have gone up by now, and I think we've had chances to do so. And I think this year was another big chance, probably the biggest we've had in a while. Even now, 6 or 9 points off second, I still fancy us from here with the signings that we made and the form that we're hitting. I think we can do it, but ultimately Cardiff have stretched away, so we're fighting for that second place and then or the playoffs. And as we've seen quite a few times in recent years, it is anyone's the playoffs.
Right. We mentioned Bolton then. Have you got anything else to add? You're happy with the signings, maybe potentially like a defensive addition, and things are on the up now for Bolton?
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. I think these next 2 or 3 games are massive, but they'll all be massive now to the end of the season. It's going to be a tense finish, I think. It's going to go right down to the wire.
Let's talk back to Premier League stuff now. A fun weekend for Arsenal. First of all,
a good hate watching weekend.
Starting the weekend off, from our point of view, what was we 4 points ahead of Aston Villa and Man City. Things obviously on a bit of a looking a little bit bleak. The talks of wobbles and bottling it had all resurfaced in the last week when I weren't around on the podcast to defend myself. And then, we go and we smash Leeds, which is a hard game. I honestly think any away game in the Premier League, when the pressure is on, which it is for us, is hard. Them games just become a little bit harder. If you need to go to Nottingham Forest or you need to go to Sunderland or Leeds or somewhere where you would probably walk them teams at home, a lot more of a banker. The away games had this little more to them, and I thought we did a really good job on these.
Closing the league shouldn't be easy. Like, there should be pressure, but let's be frank, you are the best team.
I agree with that, and I think the team that will beat us is us. Really,
I just don't see that happening. The truth is, I don't think you'll be perfect by any means, but I think City and Villa definitely won't be.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
So in the same, and I was talking about this today with an Arsenal fan at work, right? I'm looking at our 6 points behind Lincoln. I'm thinking we can have them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that if I was a City fan looking at Arsenal's 6 points, because wouldn't. And I think that's it's a very different gap. Even though it's both the same gap, it's very different because I don't think that they can sustain the levels that you can sustain, or even close to it, to be honest.
I just don't see teams. I see teams being able to score 2 and 3 against Man City, even if Man City go and win them games 5-3 or 4-2 or whatever it is. In the same, I mean, the Man United game was the first time we conceded 3 since Luton 3 years ago. Like, it just don't concede them sort of goals, so we don't roll over for teams that. And
like I said to Luke last week, because Luke was very triumphant, but I did remind him that there were 3 bangers that United scored. One of them you gave them, and then the other 2 were 2 screamers, like 2 goals of ridiculously high quality that most times don't come off.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those perfect storm games.
Yeah, and I was nervous about that Man United game because they looked good against City, and I did say I was wary of it, but that's by the by now. Our lead is back to 6 points. Like I say, we've been perfect in the Champions League. We've got the League Cup semi-final this week. Hopefully, by the time anyone's listening to this, that has been fantastic, and we're on our way to Wembley. And the FA Cup's against Wigan as well, and like that's at home, and Wigan are terrible. I'm hoping for double figures. Genuinely, nothing will make me happier. what else do we need to
It'd be
speak
funny if they beat you. But
about?
I
It
still-
wouldn't.
how many trophies are you going to win?
4. I think I was thinking 5, but then I realised that we're only in 4. So I'm going for 4.
Makes sense.
I just don't... Honestly, right now, I don't see where we lose it. No, not
Any of the 4?
Honestly, and I know 4 is almost impossible. What I'm saying is I don't know where I don't fear any team in Europe. Honestly, the 2 teams that I would have feared catching up with us in the later stage of the Champions League were Inter Milan and Bayern Munich, and seeing what I've seen already, I think we would do that number on them again. They're the
You
2.
are definitely the favourites in all 4. I think that's the way of looking at it. But
Yeah.
You never, like, a bad
It
FA
sounds-
Cup draw. Yeah.
It sounds arrogant to say. Yeah, I mean, we could get City away or Liverpool away or something like that, and that becomes a really, really difficult route to the final then. As of right now, confidence is high for me.
So what's the other semi-final of the League Cup?
Is it
Well,
Spurs
I can't remember the top of my head.
is it Spurs and City?
Newcastle.
Newcastle and City.
Right, okay, and it was City are 2-0 up, aren't they, if I remember right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good final, if that happens.
Yeah, I can see, but
I think that Chelsea game's not over, actually. I don't think that one's over, either.
I don't think it's over. I think the penalties would be the way we go out this week if it does happen. I don't see them beating us 2-0 or 3-1, and that would take them through in regular time.
So which day is that? Which day is
That's
which?
Tuesday night. This is tonight if you're listening to this on
Tonight,
the
if
day
you're
we
listening
record.
to this. Okay, that's good. That's a good game.
So that's where I'm at with Arsenal. Rest of the world, rest of the leagues, there's been some fun stuff going on. Obviously, Man City dropping points was a bit of a mad one this weekend. Thomas Frank seemingly just getting 45
Hatred
minutes
of-
out of a team that
Yeah.
were going nowhere. That first half, they looked so dead.
It's a bit of a theme, isn't it? Man City, though, poor second half performances. They've got a bit of a theme with
Did
that.
I see a stat that they haven't won a second half this year?
Yeah, I saw that only Burnley have less points in them in the second half, or something silly.
We're bordering on XG talk now, but like winning a second half it's an interesting one though, and definitely a stat worth looking at when it proved Thomas Frank to what we've said, that we think he is a good manager, and there was that planned protest for Spurs on 75 minutes, and he went to 2-2 on 70 minutes, so it sort of kept people hanging around. They could have won it as well.
I think I laid into Spurs fans last week, so I'm not going to do it again, but give the man a chance, for fuck's sake. You were 17th last year. Or was it 16th? Like, just give him a chance to try and sort it. They've got a striker back, and that striker scores 2 straight away. Like, an actual striker's playing, and that's not Richarlison up front, and they're scoring goals again. And it's like, just give the man a chance. For fuck's sake.
Where are Spurs? They're 14th though.
So better.
Yeah. Manchester United with their late comeback on Sunday.
They're officially back now. I think we can say that.
Oh, they're well back. They're back on it. Do you see that? I've forgotten our predictions. I don't think any of us had them prediction wise getting Champions League in the top 5.
I thought they'd be better than last year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you see them getting Champions League? Do you think that's it? Because as of where we're at right now, league table, Arsenal top, clear by 6 of Man City. A further point is Aston Villa. 4th, 5th, and 6th is Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool. With a point
I think
on
they
each.
do. I think United do. I wonder if Villa.
I think
start to
Villa
drop off.
we might see a little bit of a free fall from them. Champions League needs to be so much of a goal for them. And actually, I think they need it.
But they can go. They have another route though, don't they? They have
By
have
winning
another
the
route.
Europa League. Yeah, Unai Emery only seems to lose them for Arsenal. So if they could get,
Yeah, I think. I do think Man United get that. I do think the idea of being able to focus on every game, and they seem to have quickly gotten a way of playing under Carrick, which is very defensive, and the team seem to buy into it because they're winning. Like, you look and there's genuine smiles among like the players. I mean, it's weird to see like Casemiro genuinely enjoying himself.
all of a sudden, it's crazy what stink and downtrodden mood Ruben Amorim had put on that place. And I don't think he was just at fault. I think there was a big miscommunication between players and staff, and board and everything. It was toxic
Oh,
to...
No, those players, like the leadership skills they're showing now, they should hang their heads in shame if they were before. However,
Absolutely.
worry about that at the end of the year because they're onto something now. So, like, don't like they're all
Just got to keep
pulling in
riding
the same
it
direction now. Yeah, even like Sesko looks good all of a sudden.
So let's think our top 5 then is in one
The
version
Arsenal
of another.
number 1.
Is
Let's do the order, mate. Let's do the order. Let's
right.
be bold, right?
It's end of the transfer
Arsenal
window.
Winners.
That's what I say.
Second, probably City.
I think City.
Third, I think Man United.
I think Chelsea. Only because I
United,
think
then Chelsea, I think.
I think Chelsea. I don't know fixture-wise what it's looking like, who's got to play where and stuff.
Well, yeah, exactly. Who's slotted in to play in April and stuff. It's already been decided what teams are playing for then, isn't it?
But I think Chelsea beat Man United when they need to here.
Okay.
So I think they make up them points.
All right. So Chelsea or United, third and fourth. I think we agree with that, right?
And
So
Liverpool fifth.
Liverpool fifth, Villa sixth. That's what I think. Yeah.
That would mean Liverpool on a 7-point swing from now to in the next 14 games. And I don't think that's out of the question. Again, fixture-wise, I'm sure Liverpool have got to play Villa again soon.
I know they had that bad Bournemouth result, but a lot of teams will get beat away at Bournemouth. And I think they are getting better, and I think they're starting to learn to play through Wirtz, aren't they? They're starting to get that balance right of using him in the right way.
Ekitike looks brilliant, doesn't he? I must say, he's a great striker. We were linked with him for a time in the whole Sesko Gyökeres debates. That Ekitike seemed to be the third member of this party.
I think everyone's fuming that they let that one slip. I've heard so many people sort of fall on and they're looking back and going, "Oh, we actually would link with Ekitike a bit, but we thought it was a bit too much money."
It was steep bottom money. It was close on 90 million, weren't it? It was.
Yeah.
But he's proven very, very valuable in a world of an Alexander Isak who you're not going to see for the best part of a year.
And Enzo Fernandez.
Or someone with the value and the Madrid-bound nature of an Enzo Fernandez that Ekitike he's just class. He looks like he can do it whenever he wants to.
Born to do it, man.
I don't know what reference that is to do.
Craig David, born to do it, I'll agree.
He's Craig David. Right, let's wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for watching. Please go pre-save the single, and for all other information, podcast related, like I say, we want to get you involved as much as possible. And that is at fixingfootballpodcast.com for all the links back. The boys are back. People can start remembering who I am again. And we will see you same time next week. Peace out.